The stadium stands silent. The battlefield awaits. Shadows stir, legends awaken. Tonight, the clash begins. Join the Night Watch and let's sim the battle and rule the night together. Welcome to Night Night Sims. Fog-draped streets of London, where history lingers in the shadows, and ancient legends whisper through the stone alleys. There exists a myth as dark and enigmatic as the city itself. The Ravens. Guardians of the Tower of London, these ominous birds have long been tied to the fate of the realm. Their presence said to ensure the survival of the kingdom. The London Ravens take their name from the storied past, channeling the intelligence, mystery, and commanding presence of these legendary sentinels. The legend of the Tower Ravens stretches back centuries. It is said that if they ever abandon their posts at the Tower of London, the kingdom will fall. Their watchful presence has made them symbols of power and foreboding, figures that have seen kings rise and empires fade. But beyond their historical role, ravens are creatures of cunning and adaptability, black-winged strategists with a relentless instinct for survival. They do not merely exist, they endure, knowing when to observe and when to strike. The London Ravens bring the same strategic intensity to the gridiron. Their defense moves like the flock itself, calculated, sweeping, suffocating opponents within an inescapable shadow. Their offense swoops with precision, striking swiftly before retreating into the mist. They play with an eerie patience and ruthlessness, knowing that victory belongs to those who control the battlefield. Their identity reflects the spectral presence of their namesake. The uniforms evoke the twilight hues of the city's skyline, blending black with royal red and fog gray. Their logo, a formidable raven perched atop an ancient tower, its wings spread in silent authority, captures their unyielding vigilance. Their home, the keep, transforms into a haunting fortress on game day. On the field, the Ravens play with control, intelligence, and ruthless efficiency. Their mantra resonates through the keep, carried like an omen: watch the throne, command the shadows, strike unseen. London does not merely host the Ravens, it is their dominion, a city that has endured through time, guarded by the legends that watch from above. To face them is to challenge fate itself. Through the mist-covered bayous and dense forests of the Mississippi River Delta, a legend prowls beneath the moonlight, an entity both spectral and primal, the wolf spirit. Known in whispers among the deep south, it is more than a creature of flesh and blood. It is an omen, a protector, and an untamed force that moves between worlds. The Memphis wolf spirits take inspiration from this eerie myth, merging the presence of the wolf with the supernatural energy of the spirit realm, creating a team as relentless as the howls that echo through the night. The legend of the wolf spirit traces its origins to old folk tales, passed down through generations in the American South. Hunters spoke of shadowy figures moving just beyond their line of sight, their glowing eyes visible only when the moon reached its peak. Stories told of wolves that could not be caught, beasts that vanished before they could be cornered, guardians of the wilderness that watched but did not interfere, unless the balance was disturbed. They were creatures of power and mystery, existing beyond the confines of the physical world, bound to the land and the spirits that shaped it. The Memphis wolf spirits bring the same spectral energy onto the field. Their defense swarms opponents like an unseen force, surrounding and suffocating them before disappearing back into the night. Their offense strikes like a predator lunging from the darkness, attacking with speed, precision, and ruthless instinct. They do not simply overpower, they unsettle, they dominate, and they command. Every detail of the team's identity reflects the haunting beauty of the legend. The uniforms shiver with twilight hues, combining black with silver and a lunar-type blue to evoke the spirit wolf's presence beneath the moonlit sky. Their logo, a glowing-eyed wolf, its fur rippling like mist, captures the eerie elegance of the beast. Their home, the Howling Grounds, transforms into a realm of myth on game day. On the gridiron, the wolf spirits move as a ghostly force, swift, relentless, unstoppable. Their mantra carries through the Howling Grounds, whispered like the wind: run unseen, strike as one, rule the night. Memphis does not simply host the wolf spirits. It is their territory, a place where myth and reality blur, and the howl of the unseen guides the way. To face them is to challenge not just the team, but the very spirits that roam this land. In the frozen expanse of Alaska, where the howling winds carve through the mountains and the snow blankets the earth in an endless white veil, there is a legend whispered among those who brave the cold. It is the tale of the snow wraiths, spectral entities that roam the tundra, appearing only when the storms rage their fiercest. Said to be formed from ice and mist, these wraiths move through the blizzards unseen, their presence felt only by those who dared to enter their domain. The Anchorage snow wraiths draw their name and spirit from this chilling myth, embodying the relentless power and ghostly grace of the Arctic. The legend of the snow wraiths is woven into the fabric of the North. Hunters and explorers tell stories of ghostly figures glimpsed through the blizzards, shapes shifting in a storm before vanishing without a trace. Some believe the wraiths are guardians of the wilderness, spectral protectors of the ice-covered land. Others fear them as omens, their appearance signaling that one has ventured too far into the cold's grasp. What remains certain is their presence, silent, watching, inevitable. The Anchorage snow wraiths carry this ethereal force onto the gridiron. Their defense is as impenetrable as the Arctic storm, surrounding opponents like swirling ice and suffocating their every move. Their offense moves with the eerie unpredictability of the blizzard, vanishing into the mist before striking with lethal precision. They do not overpower. They haunt, they unsettle, and they dominate. Every detail of the team ties back to this legend. Their uniforms shimmer with the spectral hues of ice and shadow, blending a glacial white with a stormy cloud gray and an icy blue. Their logo, a fierce wind-swept wraith with glowing eyes and flowing tendrils of snow, captures the chilling elegance of the myth. Their home, the tundra, becomes a frozen battlefield on game day. On the gridiron, the snow wraiths play like the blizzard itself, swift, inevitable, and overwhelming. Their mantra echoes through the tundra, carried by the cold winds. Move like the storm, strike from the mist, leave them frozen in fear. Anchorage does not simply host the snow wraiths. It is their frozen sanctuary, a land bound to the legend and shaped by the storm. To face them is to step into the blizzard and witness the force of the Arctic itself. Beneath the bustling streets of Toronto, where the subway tunnels stretch into darkness and the city pulses with unseen energy, there is a legend that refuses to die. It is a tale of the tunnel monster, a shadowy figure said to dwell beneath the city, glimpsed only in fleeting moments before vanishing into the depths. This mysterious entity has haunted local lore for decades, an urban myth whispered in underground passages and dimly lit alleyways. The Toronto Tunnel Monster channeled this eerie tale, transforming from mere whispers into an undeniable force, stealthy, relentless, and commanding the shadows. The legend of the Tunnel Monster originates from an encounter dating back to the 1970s. A man claimed to have seen a creature lurking in a hidden passage beneath the city. Its glowing red eyes locked onto him before it scurried away. Described as humanoid yet beast-like, the entity was never found, and its existence was never confirmed, but that didn't stop the myth from growing. Whether a lost spirit, an undiscovered cryptid, or something beyond explanation, the tunnel monster remains an enigma, forever lurking just beneath the surface. The Toronto Tunnel Monsters take to the gridiron with the same elusive power as the legend itself. Their defense swarms like shadows in the depths, closing gaps and suffocating opponents before they realize what's happening. Their offense moves with ghostly precision, striking with unpredictable speed before disappearing into the mist of the moment. They do not play in the open, they play within the unknown, where fear lingers and hesitation means defeat. Their identity pulls from the depths of the city's mysteries. Their uniforms shimmer in spectral tones that evoke the underground passages, blending black with gray and glowing red. Their logo, a monstrous red-eyed figure emerging from the darkness, captures the fear and fascination of the myth. Their home, the underground, turns into a cryptid's domain on game day. On the gridiron, the tunnel monsters strike like shadows, silent, swift, inevitable. Their mantra drifts through the underground, whispered like an omen. Lurk unseen, strike in darkness, own the depths. Toronto does not simply host the tunnel monsters, it is their hunting ground, a city where the shadows stretch forever, and the unknown waits just beneath the surface. To face them is to confront a legend that refuses to fade. Through the winding forests and quiet rivers of Ohio, where shadows stretch long and the air thickens with mystery. Legends roam in the darkness. Cryptids, elusive creatures existing at the edge of perception, have haunted the region's folklore for generations. From Bigfoot sightings deep in the woods to eerie encounters along the waterways, Canton has long been a place of whispered rumors and chilling discoveries. The Canton cryptids embody these myths, playing with the stealth, unpredictability, and undeniable force of the creatures said to lurk just beyond human understanding. Ohio's cryptid lore is vast and chilling, filled with sightings of towering beasts, spectral entities, and unnatural figures moving through the wilderness. The most infamous of these include the Grassman, a Bigfoot-like creature said to stalk the state's remote woodlands, and the Loveland Frogman, an amphibious being spotted near the banks of the Little Miami River. What connects them all is their elusiveness. They're seen but never caught, feared but never understood. They are creatures of the unknown, existing at the edge of belief, haunting the minds of those who dare to chase the legend. The Canton cryptids take to the gridiron with the same presence. The defense moves like shadows shifting through the forest, closing ranks so swiftly that opponents have no escape. Their offense strikes with erratic yet calculated energy, appearing from nowhere before vanishing back into the mist. They play not just with skill, but with fear, instilling hesitation, unsettling rivals, and commanding the game through intimidation alone. Their identity draws directly from Ohio's cryptid legacy. Their uniforms shimmer like the darkened trails where sightings occur, blending green with black and gray. Their logo, a piercing-eyed humanoid cryptid emerging from the fog, captures the eerie majesty of the creatures that define them. Their home, the lurking grounds, transforms into a cryptid's domain on game day. On the gridiron, the cryptids strike like the unknown itself, swift, elusive, and terrifying. Their mantra drifts through the lurking grounds, carried like a whisper through the darkness. Hunt in silence, strike unseen, leave them searching. Canton doesn't just cheer for the cryptids, it is bound to them. A city with legends that refuse to fade and creatures that refuse to be forgotten. To face them is to step into the unknown and wonder what might be watching from the shadows. And just like that, another episode is in the books, but the grind never stops. Whether you're scheming your next franchise in Madden, looking for elite play and play now, just remember, champions are built in the moments between the whistle. So if you want more winning strategies, more deep dives, more sim franchises, more team builder teams, and more ways to dominate, then it's time to join the Night Watch. Hit that subscribe button and be part of the squad that never backs down. The next move is yours, so go out there, sim the battle, and rule the night. See you on the field where the real players rise.